Howdy folks, today we will be going over Camera Basic 101. I'm just kidding, I don't even talk like that. Have you ever seen a picture and just wonder how the hell did they take a picture like that? Well, that is what I'm gonna be talking about. These are what I call the harmony triangle because they all work hand in hand. So let's jump right into it. The three settings I'm gonna be talking about today are going to be aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible, but as easy to follow as possible. And if you have any questions, just leave it down in the comments down below, and I'll try to answer them. So for aperture, this is the F thing that you see on your camera. It's like a f1.8 or f4, something like that. So basically, the lower the f-stop is, the more open the iris of the lens is. And the more open it is, the more lights it lets in. Also, the wider it is, the more blurry the background is gonna be, or the more shallow depth of field it's gonna have. So right now I'm at 22, that's the highest number aperture it could go to. And when you're at this high number of aperture, everything in the background becomes clear. So this is a really good setting if you want to take like landscape, or if you want to make sure that the background is in focus with a subject in front of the camera. Shutter speed. So this is basically how fast the camera takes the picture. For example, if you have a really fast shutter speed, so let's say 1/1000th of a second or 1/2000th of a second, and if you set it like that and you're taking a picture of a waterfall, you are going to capture like all the droplet, and the waterfall is going to be frozen in time. But if you go with a lower or slower shutter speed, you are going to be able to capture the waterfall like it's flowing, and it's going to be a pretty cool effect. And depending on what you're going for, you might want to set your shutter speed faster, or you might want to set your shutter speed slower. Alright, so for ISO setting, so this is kind of like an artificial lighting for your camera. Basically, it sets the sensitivity of your sensor to light. So the higher the ISO setting, the more brighter your pictures are going to become, and the lower it is, the darker it is. But then also you want to make sure your ISO setting is as low as possible. So you want to stay in that like 100 to 400 range, so your pictures are crisp and clear. But then again, it's not always possible for certain situations, especially not in a well-lit area. You're just gonna have to bump up that ISO setting no matter what, unless you got a really good lens with a really low f-stop. That's a whole nother story.
Alright, so how about let's take a field trip and do field tests. Alright, and we are here taking this field trip out to do some field tests, telling you guys how each setting affects each other. So it's kind of loud right here because I'm right under like a underpass for a highway, and because it's kind of cold. So again, this is the shutter speed, and the higher the number is on here, I mean technically it's faster because it's 1/1000th of a second, but on here, if you can see, the number is 1000. As you get bigger in that number, the darker your picture becomes, and as well as the aperture, the bigger that number becomes, the darker your picture becomes as well. And then that's how you adjust it. So let's say you kind of want everything in focus, but you kind of also don't want your shutter speed to be really low because there might be some moving object in the background or something like that. So you're just gonna have to adjust your ISO up, and your picture becomes a better exposed picture, and you can take a picture, and there's that. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, that is how you take a good exposed picture, by fiddling with those settings right there. So just remember your shutter speed and your aperture. The bigger those number becomes, the darker your picture becomes. And for your ISO, the bigger this number becomes, the brighter your picture becomes. And as the lower you go in number for ISO, that becomes darker, and the lower you go in aperture, the brighter your picture becomes. And the same as for shutter speed, the lower you go in number, the brighter the picture becomes. So that is how you set your settings.
Alright, so thanks again for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks everybody. Peace.
Okay, I've been working like 3 jobs. Probably why I never see ya. Probably why I never have time for the fake friends. I won't be ya. Oh God, I've been running now. Up early when the sun is out. Not setting out my own soul, but those real ones, they coming out.